In the early days of the PS2, back before our Lord and Saviour Todd Howard filled the world with mediocrity disguised as innovation, it was a time of experimentation and, well, trying new things, which is what experimenting is, but I'm not word smart, so there. Many giants of gaming rose up from the primordial processors and graced us with their polygon love. I want to talk about two of those giants today. Let's talk about Jak and Daxter. Released on the 4th of December 2001 by Sony Entertainment and developed by the legendary Naughty Dog Studios, Jak and Daxter was critically acclaimed when it came out, getting a 9 out of 10 from most big reviewers at the time. Sony did give it a 10 out of 10 in their own magazine, I think it was, but that's kind of like patting yourself on your own back. With the praise for this game being what it was, there's no wonder why Jak and Daxter became Sony mascots, side by side with the likes of Crash and Japanese Ratchet. Many people praised the graphics, which were stellar for the PS2 at the time, going for a more cartoonish, stylized style rather than shooting for realism. I've heard a lot of people say what I'm about to say, and to be honest, it's only recently that it's actually started to ring true for me. Is that when you go for a more unique style, like cartoonized, or not cartoonized, it's not the right word, but you know what I mean. When you go for a more unique style, it lasts longer than the realism fidelity. You know? Something that I only recently realized when playing this on stream is that there's a day-night cycle. I cannot tell you how happy I was when I noticed that. That's something people forget about even today. This was another one of those games that I completely missed out on. And I started playing Jak 3 over my cousin's house. Of course, realized the third one, so I went back to play this one and Jak 2. But I was surprised that I wasn't slicing my eyeballs open on the edginess in this game.
I'm gonna kill Praxis!
Seriously though, I've never actually seen a tone shift that dramatic between games. As usual, big spoilers for basically 90% of this game, so unless you're a time traveler from 2001, seriously, we need to have a chat. But for the rest of you who reside in the year of our Lord, 2024, or whatever year this is when this video comes out, I don't know. Let's dive punch right in. As you clearly already know, the game starts off with Samos talking about rocks or something.
I have spent my life searching for the answers that my father and my father's fathers failed to find. Who were the precursors? Why did they create the vast monoliths that litter our planet? How did they harness eco, the life energy of the world? What was their purpose? And why did they vanish? I have asked the plants, but they do not remember. The plants have asked the rocks, but the rocks do not recall. Even the rocks do not recall. Every bone in my body tells me that the answers rest on the shoulders of a young boy. Oblivious to his destiny, uninterested in the search for truth, and rejecting of my guidance.
Eagle-eyed viewers out there have already noticed there's something wrong, but for the rest of you, can you tell what it is yet?
No.
That's right, Detective Inspector Jenks. Dax is a little bit taller than his Tinder profile suggested, so let's fix that.
Stupid precursor junk. Eek! What is that dark ooze? It sure don't look friendly. Wow! How did you do that? Man, You listened? What?
It still baffles me why they started the game like this, why they had him fall into the Dark Eco and why the Dark Eco did that to him. I can already hear the echoes through time of all the angry fans typing in the comment section.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Or fingers. We will get there at some point in the future, I promise you. The video is coming. Also, that wasn't decided until much further down the line, game-wise. At this point in time, they actually didn't know what story they wanted to tell. We'll touch more on that later. After the duo murder an innocent guard who was just doing his job trying to support a family of 3,
Tell Tiny Tim I won't be coming home this Christmas.
they're gonna be feeling real bad about all the lurkers they killed one day.
Sorry. You great guy. We do not forget. We're to pay you back, you see.
They make their way back to Samos. That's Samos, by the way. He's like their carer,
I'm his carer.
Yeah, my carer. She can, so I don't have to.
and he just seems pissed off with Daxter for falling into the Dark Eco.
Don't tell me. Instead of heeding my wisdom, the two of you went mucking around in the only place that I told you not to go. Misty Island.
That's right. And then...
And Daxter, you finally took a much-needed bath, but in a bathtub filled with Dark Eco.
Look, old man, are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna help me out of this mess?
I'm gonna keep yapping, because in my professional opinion, the change is an improvement.
My guy, he should be smoke, or whatever it is. Samos palms the job off of helping him onto one of the other Eco Sages, and honestly, I get it. If I had to deal with Daxter all day, I would too. Samos tells us he's not the right sage for the job. He's green. So if you can't stop healing, he's your guy.
なかなかいい感じに私好みになってきてんじゃねえか。
He tells us to go and talk to the Dark Eco Sage, whose name at this point I've completely forgotten.
Call Acheron, the sage.
But we can't get there on foot because there's, I guess, a lake of lava between us. Can't we go around? Instead, we've got to find 20 power cores to power Kira's invention. As a kid, I had such a crush on Kira. I mean, looking back now... Actually, no, she's still pretty bad with it. Look, okay, you have to remember that this was the sexiest woman around at that time, and her chest was pointier than a pointed remark about a pointy thing. And then she shows up and changes everything.
You two couldn't find your way out of the village without training. Before you do anything else, you better go through the warp gate and get some practice on Geyser Rock.
We won't find any more of that dark gooey eco stuff, will we? Cause I'd hate to fall in again and turn into you.
Get in there before I turn you both into ferns.
This is Tutorial Island, where you learn to cut trees, fish for shrimp, and... Oh, fuck, wrong script. This is Tutorial Island, where you learn to jump, punch, and run like the Flash. The controls are very similar to Ratchet and Clank. X to jump, double tap X for a not pathetic excuse for a double jump, just to give you that little extra boost when you're jumping across gaps. Or you could stop being a little baby man and tap R1 and X while running forward to do the sick roll jump. Hold R1 and jump on the spot to do a crouched high jump. How does doing the splits help you jump higher? It doesn't work. Square is to punch, circle is to do a spin kick. There's a really cool combo you can do by punching, jumping, punching again, then kicking. Not a whole lot of use for it in this game, but in the second game, oh, it's a whole different thing. And what's really weird to me is that triangle toggles first person mode, but if you move, the camera goes back to third person. And, of course, the same as Ratchet and Clank, the controls are inverted. So, time to change the emulation settings, or I could just play the remastered PS3 collection for the PS4 on the PS5. Silky smooth. Tutorial Island takes you through the basics. So on my script there, I left too big of a gap, so I'm just gonna... Of the game, like jumping, punching, and using floating platforms with the power of the Speed Force. Let's talk about Eco. First off, there's Dark Eco. This is the stuff we see turn Daxter into an annoying little prick for the rest of time. It doesn't do the same for you though, no matter how many times you jump in. On Geyser Island, we find Green and Blue Eco. Green does the heals on you. What did you...
I threw it on him.
She threw it at him.
And Blue turns you into A-Train.
I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop.
And lets you open doors because you're vibrating like Fry drinking 99 cups of coffee, so you're generating your own electricity. There's 6 types of eco altogether, so we'll talk about them as they come up. We're here on Geyser Island to find some power cores that will power the Hotman's hoverbike. I think there's 2 here. Grabbing how many power cores there were, future me, just put it on screen whether, I was right about saying 2. Well, I was gonna do that anyway. Why are you always telling me what to do? Do you know what? Go fuck. Thank you, future me. When you're done here, you can go back to the main island, and from here, the game is finally open to you. There's a couple of NPCs in Sandover Village, including Jak's uncle, the mayor, a weird artist guy, and a farmer so lazy his bull cow yak things got loose, and he just doesn't care. Everyone here will ask for something in exchange for a power core. Jak's uncle asks for money. Jesus Christ.
I wish to set off on my journeys yesterday, but I seem to be a spot short on the old precursor orbs. I would have pledged my word that I had 90 of them, but I gather that your young friend, the little annoying, miserably ugly one, might have just pilfered them as a sort of a spot of fun. Anyway, would you be kind enough to loan your dear old uncle 90 precursor orbs so he can get underway? I would offer you a power cell in return.
Reminds me of my uncle. That's a joke, by the way. Love you, Trev. And the mayor who asks you to... Okay. Redirect the power from a nearby blue eco tower to power the village.
No, don't tell me that you two have problems as well. The first I hear of monster sightings near the village, and now this. See those gears up there, boys? See them? See how they're not moving? That means our village has no power. The eco beam coming from the jungle temple has been interrupted. And boys, everyone's too frightened to go out and find out what's happened.
Did you pay the bill?
So this one it is weird to me. So he wants us to bring power to the village. Simultaneously, there's nothing to power in this village, because it looks pre-industrial. But then up the road, you've got a girl working on hoverbike technology with heat shielding and stargates. These guys don't even have functioning light bulbs. Huh. Oh, would you look at that? You don't even need to talk to the villagers, you can literally just go out and finish all the quests. Which is a good idea if this isn't your first time playing, because all the cutscenes are unskippable.
Hey! Little furry dude! Oh, I thought for a moment you were my muse.
Your what?
Haven't you ever seen a muse before?
From the village, you can go to the beach, the overrun forest, or back to Misty Island on a stolen fishing boat. The game pushes you towards the beach. It's the easiest part of the game other than Tutorial Island. But we won't go there just yet, because we're no-nonsense badasses who ain't afraid of no weeds. It's here, deep in the lonely forest of death, that we find my arch-enemy. The Fisherman. This man's laughs haunt my dreams.
What do you have in the basket?
Nothing to talk about.
Them monsters patrolling the ocean took a bite out of me fishing rig. And now they're gobbling up me catch. No matter what I try, I can't seem to catch a single fish in this river.
Ooh, maybe it's your breath.
You think you can do better? Try scooping up river fish with a tiny net.
The minigame this man gives me, us, because we're in this together, can go fuck itself. He can go fuck itself. Now, I know there's people out there that will say, well, I didn't have trouble with this. Good for you. But I did. After we offer our firstborn to the demon in the pit so he'll do this minigame for us, He gives us a power cell and the keys to his boat. Huh.
You did it! You caught 200 pounds of fish! Not bad for a couple of landlubbers. Here's the power cell I promised. And you can use my boat at the village dock whenever you like.
Ignoring the fact that we stole this guy's boat when he would have just given us the keys, we head over to the eco tower, reroute the beam through these lenses, and my god, this game is beautiful. You could walk from one end of the map all the way to the other and not see a loading screen anyway, other than going to Misty Island, but that's sort of hidden behind a short cutscene. Like you on the boat just blah, 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 and you're there. Yeah, this is not a huge deal today, but back then, wow, this was actually quite impressive. I think I could only really think of like 2 or 3 games that did this. I might be very wrong, and this might have been extremely common, but it's, I don't know. Tell me if I am. I'm sure you will anyway. Naughty Dog really made use of the PS2 hardware. I'm pretty sure they said there was all of this is off memory. This is off script now. There was a video I watched. This might actually be in the script. I forgot what's in this fucking thing. There was a video I watched about behind the scenes thing of Naughty Dog talking about making the game, and they said that working for the PS1, which they did like crash games, stuff like that, when they were given the specs for the PS2, they lost their mind. It was like 20 times more powerful, so they wanted to make full use out of it, and it shows. And they made the world feel alive. They made it feel like you had an impact on what was happening, like opening the eco vents. Later on in the game, there's a button that's hidden up in the mountains. You can press it and activate all of these a certain type of color eco vent in the world. You don't need it to progress the game, but it's there if you're looking, and it gives you all kinds of secrets and extra power cores. For example, other than the one I just made, there's a plant monster boss hidden underneath the blue eco tower. He's easy enough to beat though. Just dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge until he turns into a bellend.
Brother, what's that?
Once you've beaten him, all the hentai vines around the forest die.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
So I'm not going to go over all the little stuff like I normally do in these videos, because honestly about 90%, I like 90% of the quests just exist to give you a power core. They have no impact on the main story. They're just fun little quests that end up giving you power cores, so I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'm just going to stick to the main quests for 2 reasons. Number 1, it saved my pen some ink, and number 2, it leaves about, what, 85% of this game unspoiled for people who want to pick up a copy and play for themselves. That cool? I don't know why I'm waiting for you to answer like I'm Dora the Explorer or something. Anyone else notice that her name doesn't rhyme with an American accent? Dora the Explorer. One existential crisis and collecting all the power cells later. Cores, cells, whatever. We hand them over to the sexiest woman in the village so she can finish her invention. A flying motorbike. Smart and sexy.
Nice.
I want to clarify, she didn't need the cores to make it fly. My girl had that down already. No, she needed them to make heat shield technology, so she already had anti-grav propulsion technology in a village made out of sticks and straw. Couldn't you have just made it fly higher? Anyway, we take the impossibly advanced hoverbike through the lava canyon, making sure to hit all of these balloons filled with water to cool the shield down because it can't handle the heat. Hang on. Did she put those balloons there? And why can't a hoverbike equipped with, I think it was 20 power cores, possibly the equivalent of 20 nuclear power stations, why can't that hold back the heat of lava? And how did she get the balloons in the canyon?
Now be careful. The shield will only protect your zoomer till it reaches 500 degrees, so try to keep her cool. Flying over open lava will definitely heat you up fast. Hit 500 degrees and it's over.
Over? Like burning molten metal over?
The fire canyon gets pretty hot, so keep a lookout for jumps to keep you off the hot ground. I've also released several blue cooling balloons you can use to drop the shield's temperature quickly.
You know, a lot of people think I don't like these games when I talk about them. I don't know why. Eventually we make it to the Blue Sage's hut and activate his Stargate. With the cover stone removed and the chevrons locked, Samos arrives to give us some words of wisdom.
I don't think I'll ever get used to that teleporter tingling sensation. Hey! It looks like the Blue Sage threw a party.
Oh my! Rock Village is on fire!
One heck of a party.
Is it just me, or can you imagine Samos at a party? You know, floating upside down, doing a chug.
Chug, chug, chug.
We already know what his younger self gets up to.
And I never forget a face, especially one that ugly.
So it begins.
No, I mean Rock Village is being bombarded with flaming boulders.
And my justice will be punitive. I'm a smash.
And it looks like the Blue Sage is working on a levitation machine to move them. Assuming it's operational, we're gonna need power cells to fuel it. I guess you two are going to have to find some more.
Well, you heard the woman of my dreams. Get out there and find more power cores. This is most of the game, by the way. We do more side stuff like time trials and murdering lurkers in a swamp.
You great guy.
Here we get access to 2 more types of eco, red and yellow. Red eco increases the damage of your melee attacks and gives you an AoE when you slam the ground. Yellow gives you a ranged fireball Hadouken attack that homes in on enemies that can be used to break barriers.
Hadouken!
So red eco does a lot of damage at short range. Yellow eco lets you do decent damage at long range. Blue eco is fast. Dark eco is terribly destructive and kills a lot of people. And green eco heals you. I can't wait to do a video on Jak 2. I think this is where you can go up to the snowy mountain from here. I was nearly done with the script. I remember coming back to write this in because I had a PTSD flash of those weird pulsing sex walls.
Oh, that's easy. You just gotta find the clitoris.
Finally, we get enough power cores to use the levitation device. And it is possibly the biggest waste of time I have ever seen.
Great, you have the cells for the machine. They ought to provide enough power to lift that boulder. There we go. Now be careful facing that monster lurker at the top.
Wait! I'll stay here and protect Kira. Jak, I think you're ready to handle that monster without me.
Oh, really heroic of you.
It lifts the rock and holds it there. Jak could have crawled around. Jak could have jumped over it. Jak could have waited for the fire on the rock to stop. Why am I going off script? I'm not even reading the script anymore. Or, here's a better idea. Instead of wasting resources on a prolonged beam to hold it in place, you could have just pushed it into the water. It takes like 20 power cores to hold it there. You probably could have used one and nudged it to the side. And here is the first boss fight in the game. Well, no, mandatory boss fight. And I bet you're expecting me to hate it, aren't you? Well, my little stunted chinchilla, you would be wrong. I actually quite like this fight. It is a simple, straightforward use of everything you've learned in the game thus far, and puts all those skills to the test. Dodges balls of fury until one of them drops blue eco, and use the fact you can never satisfy a woman to make a bridge.
Fastest man alive.
Which might explain why you can't get a date.
Yeah. Hey!
Pick up some yellow eco and let him have it all over his face.
He keeps kicking me in the deck.
Rinse and repeat as it gets progressively harder. I might not be this game's biggest fangirl, but honestly, I'm not its biggest hater either. I quite like this.
Why does he keep kicking me in the deck?
After you kill the roided out winter soldier, you continue on to the mountain pass. You race some flying babies through the pass, grabbing a power core for your trouble, and you enter the Red Sage's hometown. I've asked a few people about this part, and apparently I'm the only person that thinks he drops an F-bomb.
Ow! Fuck, I always wonder if I'm losing body parts in those things.
Let's see that in an instant replay.
Am I? The Red Menace has been kidnapped, and luckily enough, the kidnapper is stuck around to show off his cool dark elf wizard cosplay.
Definitely looks as though there's been a struggle here.
Indeed.
I'd hardly call it struggle. Would you, dear sister?
Certainly not. The Red Sage gave up with so little effort. No fun at all.
And Samos is just like, oh, so you've finally gone mad. Because, as we all know, Dark Elves are more suited to being assassins or thieves. It's not racial profiling, it's just statistics. Samos was just waiting for him to go mad and do an Eric Selvig. He's the Dark Eco Sage, and as you can tell, he's not too interested in helping us out after a land druid just insulted his build.
Gall? Is that you? You've finally gone off the deep end, eh? And Maya, I told you the Dark Eco would affect you both. Nobody ever listens to old Samos. What have you two done with the Blue and Red Sages?
Don't worry about your colorful friends, you old fool. They're perfectly safe in our Citadel. Our special guests.
They have graciously agreed to help us on a little project.
You were wrong, Samos. Dark Eco can be controlled. We've learned its secrets, and now we can reshape the world to our liking.
You can't control Dark Eco by itself. Even the precursors.
Until now, we've had to scrape by with what little Dark Eco we could find near the surface. But soon, we will have access to the vast stores of Dark Eco hidden deep underground.
Not the silos.
Yes, the silos. They will be opened, and all the Dark Eco of the world will be ours.
But that's impossible. Only a precursor robot.
Oh, don't look so upset, Samos. We've got big plans for you.
Wait a minute! That was Gall?
And that is the real mission of the game. Fuck Daxter. No one really had any urgency in helping him out anyway. My ideal woman says that we can get to Gall's Citadel through the nearby lava tubes.
A few more power cells and your Zoomer's heat shield should get you across the lava safely.
Fuck me, Kira. How much power does this fucking bike need? If we plug it anymore, it's gonna turn into a sun. Also, I find it hilarious that Samos screams at us to find the power cores when he can just fly over the lava like a dwarven fairy in pumps. Samos' hut was on a grassy hill. The Blue Sage's hut was over water. The Red Sage's hut was over lava. I can't wait to get to the Yellow Sage's hut and find that he built it over a waste treatment plant. We collect enough power cores to make Atlantis fly again, and we make our way down to Gall's Citadel. Honestly, this lava section can go fuck itself. What is all this machinery? Why is it here? Why is it not melting?
But its volcanic soil is hot enough to melt precursor metal.
I have asked the rocks, but the rocks do not recall, or whatever he says. Jokes aside though, I think this is supposed to be Gall's machinery because of the massive Dark Eco crates that keep fucking flying by.
Thumbs up! Thank you, Chuck Norris.
Hey! Where's old Short, Green, and Wrinkly?
This is terrible. Father is missing. I think Gall and Maya may have kidnapped him as well.
Relax, sweetheart. I got everything under control.
Okay, now I'm really confused. So earlier, Kira told us to go through the lava tube and activate the Yellow Sage's Stargate, right? But we're at Gall's Citadel. And we literally just left Samos to come here and activate the Stargate. So how did Gall leave, come back, kidnap Samos, and get back here before we could get through the tube? And when we go through the door, we see Samos in a laser cage complaining that we were taking too long.
It's about time you two decided to show up.
Dude, you were literally just kidnapped. Do you think I'm the Flash or something?
Nice to see you, too. Do they have you mopping the floors now?
There's no time for jokes, Daxter. Gall and Maya kidnapped us to sap our energies to power their abominable machine. It appears they have combined the functional remains of a precursor robot with scavenged artifacts from across the land. Then they added a few diabolical additions of their own, creating the one thing capable of opening the Dark Eco silos. If you can free the four of us, we can use our combined powers to break the force shield surrounding the robot before they use it to destroy the world.
And here we are, the end game. And fuck me, this place is an absolute nightmare to get through. At least it was for me. You might be a freak of nature and it was fine for you. I don't know. I don't judge people. You've got to release all the sages in this Takeshi's Castle fever dream and stop the giant robot from ending the world. Easy, right? Wrong! When I did this live, I struggled so much with this place that I gave up and just put a video of the ending up on screen. Gaul's Citadel is my nemesis. You know what? That was a while ago, so let's see if it's as hard as I remember. Yep, it really was as hard as I remember.
You've finally come to rescue. Do you know how long I've been in here? What took you so long? What are your names?
I'm Daxter. He's Jak. He's with me.
Good job, Daxter. You're a real hero. You've got to stop Gaul from launching the robot. I'll use my eco power to help open the shield door.
You can almost tell that they just grabbed someone from the office to do the Red Sage's voice.
I was going to be the king of this world!
King? Yeah. Here's your crown.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Once all the sages are free, it's time to take on Gaul and his hot sister.
You're too late, sailors. Once I possess limitless Dark Eco, I will have the key to creation itself.
This is madness! Releasing that much Dark Eco will destroy everything we know! Just look what it's done to you!
It has given us a beauty beyond anything you could understand.
Beauty? Have you two looked in the mirror lately?
He's out of line. But he's right.
Just wait until we open the silos, little one. You think short and fuzzy is bad.
And to think, you two traveled all this way for my help. Fools! Enjoy your front row seats to the recreation of the world!
Damn! Gaul and Maya jump into a Gundam and it's down to Pound Town we go. The way it gyrates in midair like that is just...
Nice.
The boss fight here is not bad, but personally, I never actually got to experience it. I've just seen other people do it, so I'm just going with that. You start by shooting yellow eco at the Megazord until it stops its blue sky beam.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Through the fight, you've got to activate these beams that, when you turn them all on, meet in the middle and create the mythical light eco.
Light Eco! It does exist!
They must not be allowed to get it!
Light Eco! That could be the stuff to chain me back! Or it might stop that robot. Stay fuzzy, paperwork, choices.
Wait a minute. If all it takes for If all it takes for Daxter to become back to his normal human elf thing is some light eco, huh. We'll have to remember that. Maybe it'll come up again some other day.
One for all! 1,000,000%! Delaware destroys!
Well, it looks like I may have been too hard on you boys.
Phrasing?
You do have what it takes to be heroes.
But Daxter, now we can't change you back.
Don't worry about me, baby. You know what they say. Big things come in small packages.
Hey, phrasing!
Yes, Gall and Maya. The Dark Eco probably destroyed them. Probably.
Ah, who cares? Bring 'em on! We can take 'em again, right, Jack? I said, right, Jack? Wow! Put it on ice, big guy!
Oh, you better believe we're going to talk about that in a future video. And the game ends with Daxter cock-blocking Jak. And that's it. Seriously, that's it. Yep, nothing more.
But wait! There's more!
Okay, fine. There's one more thing. If you collect all 101 power cells or cores or whatever they are throughout the game, you unlock the true ending. That I've never unlocked, and I didn't in this game footage, so I've had to use some footage off of YouTube.
Holy yakko! What could that be?
Wow! It's an ancient precursor door. It looks like it will only open if we fill all 100 holes with power cells.
Guys love holes.
We're heroes, remember? We have 100 power cells.
It's so beautiful.
By the precursors.
What? You wanted to know what was behind the door? Through the light? You never will. Because even the developers didn't know what was going to be through there. And that's not me making shit up either. They've said they had no clue. They had no idea what was going to be behind it. And that they were going to see in later installments what was going to happen with the story. When they realized kids' taste in games was changing, that's when they settled on what was going to be through there. And that really is the end of Jak and Daxter. For realsies now. Jak and Daxter was and is an incredible achievement for the time and still holds up today, but in my humble opinion, and this opinion is going to upset quite a few people in a Facebook group that I recently joined, this is my least favorite game in the whole franchise. And I've only ever played the first 3, so, you know. But looking at the game on its own merits and not comparing it to the others in the series, I do think it still stands up today. It's a fun and unique romp through a fresh and lively world with some really interesting characters. And I don't just mean the main cast either. I'm talking about all the side characters, you know, the ones you find like fucking caves and shit like that. Every single one of them, you can just tell they were crafted with love and they put so much effort into all of their personalities. It's really beautiful to see. This was actually a lot of fun to play. Would I recommend it to people? Yes, absolutely, of course I would. And the fact that this is the first in the series is just icing on top of the cake. I would actually recommend this on its own merits alone. When Naughty Dog started out on this project, they wanted to make the gamer's game, as they put it.
We just kind of went through a process of, as gamers, what would we want? And then what more can we produce beyond even a gamer's expectation? We had never really explored free roaming. We had never explored giant environments. We had never explored anywhere near the detail that we knew that we could get on the PlayStation 2.
Now, you gotta remember, they were going from the PlayStation, making games like Crash and... Well, that was actually it, because all their other games weren't even older consoles. To the PS2, they probably felt like monkeys staring at a monolith. Personally, I can totally see how this would lead into other games. Granted, I don't think it would have led to Jak 2. No way would I have thought that that's where the franchise was going? But do you know what? Personally, to me, Jak 2 is the best, is my favorite. I still have my copy of it over there on the shelf. Huge fan of number 2. And I will be making a video on that at some point. When? I don't know, but it's eventually coming. And that is pretty much it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you thought of everything down in the comments down below. Talk about your favorite parts of the game. Did I miss your favorite part of the game? Let me know, and I'll commiserate with you. Because I'm not making an addendum to add it in. I also play all these games over on my Twitch channel. And I've even got a Discord now where I put up polls as to what game I'm going to be doing next. So, maybe come on. You get to vote on what game I will play through to completion on my next couple of streams. Not to mention all the awesome people that's already there, and we do our watch parties and stuff like that. Just chill. It's a very, very lovely, chill environment. I think so. I don't know. But yes, that is going to be it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I hope you made it this far. I do. It's a struggle to get you, but you know what? Hey, gosh darn it, it's worth it. See you next time.